Hair's still a mess. Hey everybody, half a day. I don't want it to part right in the middle. Okay, so we are going to be making a dessert tonight. Ow. Yeah, for those of you guys that have been following my channel, I don't know how I did it. I don't know if it's my rotator cuff or not, but my left arm hasn't been the same in probably a couple of months now. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to make a dessert. So let's get started. But first, let's take a look at the ingredients that we're going to be working with. So let me just turn you over here just a little bit. All right, so bananas. The two main ingredients for tonight's cooking are bananas, or actually three main ingredients really. Banana, biscuit, and brown sugar. And in case you guys didn't take a look at the description, the dessert, which I've just been calling banana bites, is a shout out to a Philippine dessert called turon, which it looks a lot like a lumpia because it's typically wrapped in lumpia wrapper, and it's got the same ingredients with banana, brown sugar, and we'll talk a little bit after I'm done making it on how else to eat it instead of just, once it's done frying. There's a couple of ways that you can eat this. And the first time I made this on our food truck, someone from the Philippines, they were like, was this supposed to be like a turon? And I was like, yes. And they're like, because it reminded her so much of it. I mean, the biggest difference is that instead of it being wrapped in a lumpia wrapper, I started using biscuit dough. So, and I actually like it that way. It's an inexpensive way to enjoy a similar dessert, the turon. Because this definitely is cheaper than buying the lumpia wrappers. But, so the first step, you guys come on over this way. Hello, good evening. Don't forget to smash that like button while you're here. But we're going to go ahead and prep the banana bites. Hey there, good evening. Thank you so much for popping in. Okay, so we're going to prep the banana bites. Okay, so this is what I'll be prepping the banana bites on. And this tray here is, once I'm done prepping it, I put it on here, and then I'm going to pop it in the freezer just for a little bit before we actually get to frying. Good evening. My live stream after it's posted might get flagged because of the music, but that's okay. For those of you guys that are here, we'll get to enjoy it live. Good Good evening. If you guys are new to my channel, I'm live streaming to you from the central part of Texas. And we are going to be making banana bites. So I am just going to flour my board here. And the reason for that is because I don't want the biscuit to stick to my cutting board. But before I pop open the biscuit, I'm going to go ahead and slice up the bananas. Don't want to make it too big, but I also don't want to make it too small. But as I get into the thicker portions of the banana, I'm trying not to make it too thick. Oh, I love this song. And this is from HEB. This is the one that I prefer to use, but you can pretty much use any biscuit. You want to be careful if it's the flaky kind though, because it might break apart. All right, let's make sure it doesn't pop on me. Woo! Hey Ma, half a day. Oh, you're also live streaming too? Well, thank you for being here. All right, it's been a minute since I've made this, so but basically all I do is I spread out the dough and then I cut it in half. You know, actually I might have supposed to maybe cut it into thirds. Like I said, it's been a while since I've made this, so but with the dough, I put a little bit of brown sugar. Right now I'm using light. In the past when I've made this, I would use dark. And then we lay the bananas in there. Since this is a bigger piece, I'm going to use a bigger banana. And then basically we just close it in. And then there you go. And then basically we just repeat. I could probably put another banana in there. I try to make sure I close up any gaps, because what's happened in the past whenever I cook or fry these is the brown sugar will seep out. And if you ever fried brown sugar, it starts to make this gooey, sticky stuff. All right, I'm going to try this one in 3 pieces. They literally are just bites. And the only reason why I throw them into the freezer, it almost just kind of helps it to set. And again, for those of you guys that have been following my channel, I've actually made the turon one time. Look, different sizes. Because that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be bites. See these? I cut them. This one was too big. These are too big. They want to be bite size. So now I know that I want to cut these into 3. This is the bigger of the 3, so you get the bigger piece. This dessert, the prepping is going to be the longest. Hey, Albert. Good evening. Doing good, doing good. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Sometimes you just need a moment to take care of yourself. Major Made Company vitamins. Self-care has never been this easy.
So it's been a while since I've made this dessert. So the first 2 pieces, I only cut the biscuit dough in half and then made these large pieces, and it's called banana bites. So we want to actually make them smaller. So now I've been cutting, when it comes out like this, I basically just flatten it out, stretch it, and I try to cut it into 3 pieces.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
And then we add brown sugar. And then we add banana. And then we just close it up.
I never really thought she was doing like 10 plates at once, but somehow we make it happen.
I tell you, making this in the food truck, the first time I started making these, I mean, and it was before I believe we even got AC installed into the food truck. And when you're cooking up in there and frying and whatnot, whew, it made it a little difficult to make these. That's the other reason why most of the time I would try to prep it before we get on the truck. But that didn't always happen, especially if I'm having to make some more. If I run out, but if I still have the ingredients, I'll make some more on the truck. But if you make this, just keep in mind with the heat, if it's hot in your kitchen, if you happen to be in an outdoor kitchen and whatnot, keep in mind that the dough might not stick as you're trying to seal it. If there's humidity and whatnot, So this specific can that I'm using has 8 biscuits. So if the first one I cut too big. So, but if there's 8 biscuits and if you did that 3, then you're gonna get at least 24 servings. Hey Anthony, good evening. And right before I put this into the freezer, I'm gonna go ahead and get the pot that I'll be frying it in. I'll turn that on so the oil can start to heat up. All right, so I got 2 more. So let's see. Let's make some more room. There you go. What kind of dough is this? It's a ready-made dough. I'm just using H-E-B's jumbo butter flavored biscuits. I haven't tried, I think I did one time try a different style of biscuit, and it did come out slightly different in reference to me being able to seal the banana and brown sugar. And you don't want to flatten it too thin, because especially at this point, it's going to start to cause holes here. And that's happened, especially if I make the banana piece too big for the size of the dough. Butter biscuit, yeah. All right, one more out of this can. See, and the longer the dough sat out, the easier it is to work with. So if you take it straight out of the fridge and start to work with it, it's harder. It's harder to work with. Every time I tried to flatten it out, it would start to shrink. That's the other reason why these two, I ended up making them too big, because I just cut the dough in half. Hey there, Dawn. Hi, Alice. Whatnot. We are making banana bites. It is a special shout out to a Philippine dessert called turon, which is typically wrapped in lumpia or like egg roll wrappers. begging you, please, please stay. All right, so 1 can, 8 biscuits. I have 2, 4, 6. So that's 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3. We got 23. 3 pieces that I'm going to pop into the freezer. And while that is in there, we're going to go ahead and get the oil going. And how deep, whoops. When it comes to how much oil you want to put in the pan, it's going to be of a deep fry, but it's kind of like when I'm frying my banana donuts. It's enough that they'll float, so they're not sticking to the bottom of the pan. I'm going to be making more than 23 pieces. Okay. So, an important ingredient that I forgot to put in that first batch is cinnamon. Babe, how did you make me forget that? Again, I've been out of practice, so this next batch, I will make sure that we are going to put, and we're going to do it this way. So now I have my little brown sugar and cinnamon mixture. Just trying to make sure I get that nice and mixed. So I need to add just a little bit more brown sugar to that. Okay, what did I miss? I want the Philippine bread dessert. I don't think I've ever tried that. It's a sweet bread rolled in sesame seeds and sugar. I'm not a big fan of sesame seeds, but that still sounds good. I think I might have added just a little bit too much cinnamon. So I'm throwing in some more brown sugar. What did you say? That's kind of like the one I love. But how are you doing today, Don? For those of you guys that are just popping in, good evening, welcome, thank you so much. Half a day. We are making banana bites. I have the first batch in the freezer. And we're about to make the second batch. Slice up some bananas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just putting some more, because this is where I'll temporarily be putting the finished ones. It has cinnamon too. I know someone who makes it, but she says it's a pain. Yeah, that's the only downside about whether you're making turon or even making the banana bites. It's time consuming when it just comes to prepping, putting it together. Once it's put together, frying it, you're done in minutes. All right, don't pop on me, don't pop on me. I've been afraid of opening these things since one time I was trying to open up croissant rolls, and the thing exploded. I mean, dough went flying everywhere. And it wasn't just that loud pop. No, okay, so it's still pretty cold. I should have taken it out sooner. So it's not as easy to expand. But anyways, it exploded. So ever since, I've been a little timid about trying to open these things. 3 slices. A little bit of brown sugar cinnamon. Oh my goodness, does not look good. And then we add our slice of banana. And then we close it up. All right. Like I said, in the first batch that I made, I completely forgot the cinnamon. But there is going to be a way to rectify that once it's done frying. So don't you worry. Thank you guys so much for being here and joining me. Don't forget to smash that like button while you're here too, please. And thank you. Si Juus Maasi. Take me back. It's the celebration of the Chinese New Year this weekend. I've been seeing videos on TikTok of people celebrating. This one guy was posting his reaction basically to the money envelopes that he got. That was funny. Uh-oh, this one might end up getting a hole when I start frying it. It's the celebration of the child. 1 year, I found 7 red envelopes outside of my house. What? It was a lot of, oh my gosh. You were blessed that year. That is pretty cool. And you didn't know who it came from? Yeah. That would be, we would be so blessed if that happened to us. Huh? What kind of dough are you using? I am using from HEB, which is a store, grocery chain here in Texas. It is the jumbo size butter flavored biscuits. I prefer that style because if you use the flaky kind, you know, it's got the different layers. I'm gonna scoot this just a little bit over because it's, see, this is what happens. That's the reason why I try to put it in the freezer. It's starting to separate because it's close to the frying pan. You're welcome. Phyllis, thank you so much for popping in. 15 years ago, Don? Have you tried the honey ones? What's the honey ones? Oh, the honey biscuits? I have, but I haven't tried it for this recipe. I mean, I think that could work with this, but being that I add, you know, brown sugar to this, the honey might make it just a little too sweet. I mean, I have a sweet tooth. I probably, you know, I wouldn't mind that personally. Hey, Lexi. Are you out there celebrating with Auntie Fran and them?
No matter your tax situation, get the TurboTax app now.
No, can't. Too sweet. Exactly. Lexi, I'm making the banana bites. Oh, whoops. I guess you heard about his promotion. You didn't hear about the celebration? Oh, that was Zoe. Well, she was talking about the promotion. All right, let's hurry up and get the rest of this. His promotion. Yeah, one of my nephews recently got promoted to first lieutenant. Woohoo! Way to go, nephew! Thank you for that, Phyllis. Yeah, I know. I saw the photo, Lexi. How many bananas per one container of biscuit dough? About 2, because it also just depends on how thick you're making the banana slices. I've learned, especially the first time I made this, that if I make my banana pieces too big, then it'll cause holes. Whoops. This one definitely is going to pop open. Okay. And it also depends on the size of the banana itself. Like these smaller ones, I probably might go through 3 in a 8-pack container of biscuits. All right, I'm gonna bring out, because I think the oil should be ready. All right. Handy dandy. Babe, where's the temperature gun? Oh, I found it. Okay, should be good. All right, let's try this. Here we go. You know what? I don't want to just dump it in there. So, okay, that's good. It's sizzling. Because if it doesn't start to bubble like that, then... Because you don't want the... I've got it at about medium high. You don't want it to be too high, because then it's going to cook faster on the outside of the dough than on the inside. All right, come on. Throwing all of this in here is definitely shutting down, lowering the heat of the oil. So I'm temporarily turning it up a little bit. What might not work? Uh-oh. I flattened that one just a little too much, and see how it's already starting to develop a hole? Uh-oh. I should have turned up the heat. But see how they've all risen to the top, so that way they're just not sitting at the bottom? That's what you want. I was there for his promotion. I don't want... Oh, you don't want to get up. Oh, you guys could smell it. Have you guys ever fried just the biscuit dough? If you want a quick, and my mom taught me this, just a quick and easy way to make some donuts, you take the regular biscuit, not the butter kind. You take regular biscuits, just cut it up into small pieces, and throw it into the fryer. Coat it with cinnamon sugar when you're done, or chocolate, and bam, you got yourself some donuts. Oh, it smells really good. You only, oh no. All right, so I got 2 more in here. Gotta hurry up so I can stick this batch into the freezer. And that's the other reason why you want to make it smaller. You see how they've also thickened up as they're frying? Or use tortilla. Yes. Yep. Fry up some tortillas. Yep. You get some chips, really. Oh, that smells so good. It's starving. All right, one more. Oh, I've never tried doing the raw one. You know, I've been wanting to actually try what we call tortillas, which is sweet flour tortillas. Um, I've been wanting to see what it would be like if we fried that up. Mm-hmm. Woo. Again, doing this, if your kitchen starts to get warm, it makes the banana sweat and it'll start to make the dough a little wet. So it makes the dough a little less sticky. Can you give me the blue strainer and line it with paper towel, please? All right, let's flip these bad boys. It's a tight fit in here. But, well, see, when there's enough room, it'll do it on its own. But the upside about reducing the space in here, because just like frying banana donuts, sometimes you're going to get the stubborn ones that don't want to flip. Thank you. It smells so good in here. All right, now I'm lowering down the heat again. The raw ones at HB sells are great for fried tortillas. We only use the raw ones. The pre-made ones in the bread aisle taste like raw too much. Yeah. Hey, Tornado. Good evening. Half a day. Come on, let's get to the 20 likes. Don't forget to smash that like. But for those of you guys that are just now popping in, we're in the frying process of making my banana bites. That has banana, some cinnamon, brown sugar. Now, this first batch, I forgot to add the cinnamon. Whoopsie. So the second batch that's sitting in the freezer has the cinnamon brown sugar mix. But you're gonna fry it about 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes on each side. You definitely want to get this golden color because again, the smaller you make it, then that means you're going to be frying it and it'll be cooked all the way through. You don't want to make the temperature too high because again, it's going to be cooked on the outside and then when you bite into it, it's still going to be a little bit doughy on the inside and we don't want that. Hey, Melissa. Another Melissa in the house. Oh, look at that. We got 23 likes. Thank you. Si Zeus Maasi. But my banana bites are a shout out to a Philippine dessert called turon, which is log shaped because it looks a lot like a lumpia or egg roll, but on the inside it pretty much has the same ingredients with the banana, brown sugar, cinnamon. Sometimes I think in place of the brown sugar they might add chocolate, but that's banana lumpia. That's a different. So scratch that. Scratch what I just said. They do, and it smells really good. So I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but some of it, because the bottom, it had some of the brown sugar has leaked into the pan. So I'm just gonna turn these guys over one more time. I want to make sure I'm getting that they're cooked all the way through. Stay. I think on the last batch, I'm not going to put all of them in at one time, just so there's just a little bit more room for them to float. So that last can took about 2.5 bananas, or little banana for me. My potassium for the day. Did you know that if you start to get those eye twitch, that's supposedly a sign, or apparently not supposedly, it's apparently a sign that you're running low on potassium.
Hey, I'm Phillipine, and I'm part of the partner team do for the Winter Olympics. In my gym room, all I do is slippers. I find that I meet people with a very same face around me. Let's shine together at the Winter Olympics.
The year was 1971 here in Winston, Texas, where Dr. started working in a Chevrolet dealership just off the strip. By 1984, and through a lot of hard work, Mr. Hewitt was able to purchase the dealership and Don Hewitt Chevrolet was born. And while their location has changed, their values have not. Honesty and
I really just wanted to take one out, just so I can crack it open and see. It's still very hot, so. But look at that. That's one thing I like about using the brown sugar. It's got that caramelization right there from the brown sugar. But before I pull the rest of these out, let's just cut this baby open and see what it looks like on the inside. I want to make sure. Did you hear that? There's a little bit of the crispiness. Oh, it's hot, 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 hot. Hot. All right. Ah, perfect. Perfect. That dough is cooked. All right. Let's take the rest of these babies out of there before I make them darkness. Can we make it to 30 likes? Come on, let me ring my bell again. Be nice. Doesn't that look good? Huh? I like to strain them to absorb any excess oil. Can you grab the brown sugar?
Brown sugar, baby.
And the second batch, I will not be throwing it on top of this. No. Did I say brown sugar? Sorry. The powdered sugar. Because then it's going to make it soft. Look at that. Look at that. Can you smell it? Banana bites. Look at that. Can you see it glistening also from the brown sugar? All right, so I'm giving it at least a minute to make sure that the heat comes back up on this before I put the next batch in. Should be right there. Somewhere in these shelves. These three. What's that right there? Is there not one that's open?
Rice flour.
All right. All right. Let's go ahead and put another round in there. This one definitely is going to leak because it's got a hole in it. Okay, 12 and 12. Definitely now they're going to have more room. So, as I mentioned earlier, in this batch, one ingredient I forgot to add was the cinnamon. So, one of the ways that you can actually eat this is Once you have it, you know, you can either do it before you put it in the serving tray or do it while it's in here. But you can get some powdered sugar and you're going to dust it. And then you can do the same thing with the cinnamon. You can probably do a mixture of the brown sugar with some cinnamon and then dust it. That way you'll still get that cinnamon flavor, which is part of the recipe, the flavor of the turon is that there's brown sugar and cinnamon in it. I'm going to get my butt up. Hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you so much for being here. You too. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. So again, I try to cook it for about 4 minutes on each side because I want to make sure, and now that there's enough space in here, you're going to see them start to turn on their own. But here's the first one. This is the one that I took out of the fryer, and it is cooked. Now I could dust this with some powdered sugar, but I'm going to enjoy it just as it is. It smells really good. All right. That is so good, even without the cinnamon in this. And it'll taste even better once you coat this with the powdered sugar. Really good. Thank you. Babe, you ready to try it? Because I'm actually taking this somewhere, I am going to wait until I get there before I coat it with the powdered sugar. Because again, if you do it too early, especially when it's very hot, fresh out of the fryer, it's going to kind of make the the powdered sugar disappear because it's going to heat up and it's going to melt. You'll still taste it, but you won't see it. See, they're turning on their own for the most part. And then again, you're going to get the stubborn one. You're going to get a stubborn one. Flip, 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 stay. See, that's the downside. There's another stubborn one. That's the downside of giving them too much space. But this is what I have to do for the stubborn ones. Let me see if I can get the others to turn, 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 turn. Nope. I should have just put them all in. Come on. $1,001, $1,002, $1,003, $1,004, $1,005.
No, no sabe nada.
Ahí está tu tío.
And the minus super keeper.
4 more likes to go. Come on, let's get to 30. Sugar in there and take my little thank you. Take my little small sifter and right before everybody's ready to enjoy it, I'm gonna coat it with some cinnamon sugar. I meant powdered sugar. Get it right, get it right. What did you say? Sending my shipping address? Hey, Kat. I'm making my banana bites. As soon as these are done frying, we're hitting the road. I actually made this for my brother-in-law. But again, check it out, check it out. Look at that. Come on. Look at that, it's getting nice and doughnut on one side. Can you put a sheet down on this? Woohoo! We hit 30! We got 30 likes, y'all. Thank you so much. Si tu es Aussie.
Three pops out.
Just throw this on there. Uh-oh.
Oh,
I'll let you do that. That's the other mistake I forgot. I forgot about that. Because of the brown sugar, heads up, using it, letting it cool down on paper towel might not be the best material to use. You can use parchment paper, foil, but not paper towel. I already turned my heat off. And the other thing about when it does this, where one side is lighter because it wants to be stubborn and not flip, that's the benefit and the joy of coating it with some powdered sugar. Hmm?
so put it in a big towel.
I know. I was loosening it. Second batch done. All right. Here it is. So like I said, be careful. Just to, if you're using that type of dough, cut them into threes because then that way you can get these smaller bites. But again, once I get there, I am going to coat it with some powdered sugar. But that's it right there, guys. Those are my banana bites. I'll post a picture of it covered in powdered sugar. But the other thing that you can do, um, other than coating it in powdered sugar, powdered sugar, powdered sugar. I'm a chocoholic. Hi, my name is Melissa, and I'm a chocoholic. But you can also drizzle some chocolate sauce on there. Yes. I don't know, maybe even a little bit of caramel, to change the flavor. Like I said, coat it with some powdered sugar or caramel sauce. But either way, this type of dessert, again, is a shout out to a Philippine dessert called turon. Look it up. It looks like a lumpia, but inside it has banana. Basically the same ingredients that I use to make my banana bites. So one more look before I end the live. There you go. Look at that, guys. Does that look yummy? All right, I gotta head out. Don't want to be running on tomorrow time for my brother-in-law's birthday party. But anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate. Don't forget to smash that like button on the way out. Si Zeus Maasi, I appreciate that I made it up to 30 likes in the hour. So yay! But until then, stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your night, the rest of your weekend. I'll catch you guys on the next video. And speaking of such, don't forget to check out the other videos that I've released today and the last few days. Until then, adios. Bye, everybody. Si Zeus Maasi. Bye. Whoops. Wrong button. Try that again.